Hey, it's January 23rd. I'm actually heading out to meet with the vice president of a nearby tribe, and had to stop at a little office, my office that I've had for a little over a year. I'm actually going to get rid of it. I'm trying to cut down expenses so I can try to really put my focus and what little resources I have into making Touch the Water. So I know I'll give you a quick tour of it. It's a great space. Landlord was great. He dropped my rent a couple of times trying to keep us here, but it's at the point of we can't keep moving with this office, and so letting it go. It's kind of a sad story, but it's okay. It's been a good place, and we still talk to the landlord. If we do end up shooting some of the scenes here, we still have access to it and might be able to pick it back up for a little bit. But I wanted to grab an autographed poster of our More Than Fry Bread movie from some of the cast and crew that signed it. And so I pulled it out, put it over here on the table, and kind of reminisced for a few moments, just looking over everybody's names and all the people that were involved with that project. And hopefully this is a nice gift given to the vice president that I'm going to meet with and talk about jumping on board as one of our sponsors for Touch the Water. And then also we have our Native Fit series. It's a DVD series that we're trying to still get out into the communities. It's always good seeing there are many people that come out and help on projects at different times, especially when a lot of times I say it's one person leading the charge, and it's one person for me, like getting the project going, script writing, and then a second or two or three people come in, and then we hit production. For me, it's been anywhere from just a couple of us to 30, 40 people, and then on down to post-production, where it's, again, just a few people, and then on out back to myself, trying to continue that, the distribution and marketing and stuff. So it's good to reflect and really see there's been a lot of people that have helped it and play different pieces of the big puzzle and different moments along the journey. So I better get going. I need to get on the road, but I'll talk to you some more in a second. All right, we'll see how this works. My half-hour drive. Yeah, it's exciting to have a meeting with the vice president of a tribe that's willing to talk with me for a few minutes. So headed out there now. I've tried to do that more in the last couple of months with a project called Native Fit. It was our first ever series, or 16 half-hour episodes. Well, it just might have to be jiggly. But so there are 16 half-hour episodes that we shot with a native fitness instructor out of Window Rock, Frida Barton, and something that we did. Just wanted to try something new. There wasn't really anything similar like it, and so went ahead and self-funded it and made it happen, and been taking it around different communities. So it's been good because it's given me an opportunity to reach out and communicate some with some of the tribal leadership around mostly Arizona, a little bit of New Mexico, those that are closer to get to than all the way on the East Coast or whatever. So that's been good. But I'm meeting with this gentleman to talk about that. He's bringing in a couple of his fitness people for the nation, and then after that I'll talk with him a little bit about Touch the Water and share what I'm trying to do and some opportunities that hopefully could be a win-win for all of us. I have a necklace, a turquoise necklace that was given to me when I was a missionary out on Navajo land back in 96, 97. I've had it for that long, and it's always been a special gift. I love the simplicity of it, that it's turquoise, and it's not a lot of bling bling. It's just something that I just like it. I haven't worn much native jewelry over the years because I felt awkward wearing it, being some non-native, does a lot of work in native country. I always feel like it's something that a lot of tourists wear. And so I guess for me personally, when I I remember being given a silver bracelet, a really nice one, and I had a hard time wearing it, and so I didn't wear it at all, really, after I tried a couple of times, because it made me feel like a tourist, and I didn't like feeling like a tourist in native country. I wouldn't go around and try to see all the tourist sites and do some of that. So about 2 weeks ago, I had an experience just in my mind. I remember getting ready to go somewhere, or in prayer, or just that first early morning, you're getting out of bed, and sometimes those early morning thoughts that come are thoughts that I've started to learn that I should probably pay attention to. And so this is a simple vision in my head. It was me wearing kind of casual business dress, a sports jacket, just Levi's, a nice collared button-down shirt, and then that image, I was wearing this turquoise necklace. And so I thought about it like, that's interesting. That's not me thinking about putting that in my, I'm not much into clothes and a wardrobe and stuff. So a lot of times I'm just in t-shirt and shorts. But seeing that image of myself wearing that, and I thought about it, and today's the first day that I'm wearing that and going to this meeting. But it helps. I see that it helps me know that I'm not alone, even though I'm the sole person. Here I am, but it helps me. It gives me, I guess, the courage and knowing that. It helps me remember that who I'm trying to, the movies I'm trying to tell and the people I'm trying to tell them for, that it's representation, that there are people that I have support that are behind me. Maybe there's 5 or 6, maybe there's 500, 600. Maybe that's more than information than you wanted to know. But I appreciate the last couple of days. I've had a handful of friends and even people that I haven't known that are starting to become friends that have reached out to me and thanked me for trying to be honest and share the journey that I'm on, trying to make this film happen. And so I at least know there's at least 5 to 2 people out there that are watching this. But that's good. It helps me want to keep going, and it's a good thing. But again, that's not why I'm doing it. Yes, that's a benefit. I'm doing this so that I can remember the ups and downs of making this journey. So when we're standing on that stage at the world premiere of this film, and I'm looking around at all those actors and crew that are on the stage with me, I'm looking out into the audience of all those people that supported the film, even if it was simply coming to watch that grand opening, and all those people in the audiences and our family, and realizing that this journey, yes, was hours and hundreds of hours of me alone, but then to realize like it wasn't just me alone getting to this point. It's all these people that have helped. It's a lady that sent a Facebook message this morning that said she was glad that I'm allowing her to come on this journey, that she's a creative, a writer and such, and this journey is helping her. If nothing more, maybe there's a little entertainment value, but that's the reason I'm doing this, so I don't forget the struggles in the process of making something great. Again, that documenting my journey. So I think there's power in that. I've shared that already. That is as I'm already realizing the struggle it is to get to a point you're dreaming of getting there, and to know that it's worth it, and know that to expect things to be hard, expect trials to happen, expect things not to go perfect at times, but also expect there to be a finish. Expect see yourself crossing that goal line, see yourself crossing that finish line, hiking that mountain. And for me, with what I'm doing with this film, it's that world premiere. It's that first time you allow the audience, anyone in the world that wants to be there, that can get it before buy a ticket before the seats are sold, that they come and watch it. That's again in my mind. And even today, getting ready, this morning for this meeting, I'm seeing that I'm trying, constantly trying to pull power from those spiritual images that I have in my mind that I'm trying to create in the temporal, the physical world that we walk in. And part of that today was hearing music being played, whether it was a drum group or a native musician that was playing at the world premiere that we'll have for Touch the Water. And so I'm hearing that music. It was a little different beat than I've heard before, a different style of singing. It wasn't a sneak up or a hoop dance song or
men's traditional or fancy dance or anything like that. It had a different, I'm not very good with music, a different something or others in it, but hearing that and seeing that image, not so much seeing, more of the hearing of that image of walking and seeing the stage and kind of visualizing that I'm able to pull from past experiences now to create this new reality that I'm working towards. But then to hear that music that was there, this morning it helped push me along a little bit more to, hey, let's take a few more steps forward. And so again, that visualization is so important to create and have that in your mind, and then also to remember and draw upon when you're fighting adversity, when somebody tells you no, or you're an idiot, or you don't know what you'll never do this, you can't hike that mountain, no one's ever done that before, you can't run a 4-minute mile, nobody's ever done that before. And people are, the naysayers or whatever, and sometimes even that naysayer is myself telling me something, that I can stop that limiting belief, that limiting thought, and I can start playing the music that I heard this morning in my mind, that I'm going to accomplish what I'm setting out to do. That's the power of visualization. When it unites with your spirit, when it unites with your heart and your mind, and your whole soul becomes a part of that vision. And then I feel like that's when the Creator starts putting things in your way that will help make you stronger, that might be difficult, but also will open doors that allow you to reach that journey with that determination, that blessing of determination and grit, and the power that you can take one more step forward. That's what that song put in my heart and my mind today. And so I feel that as I call back upon that memory and such of moving forward on this journey. So I think I've gotten more philosophical talking to myself on this camera than I thought I imagined myself being. So anyway, just trying to speak from my heart, trying to share the journey with you, and sometimes I just have those conversations in my mind very quickly, and so putting it in words and hearing it is a new experience for me than just experiencing it mentally and such in my mind. So hearing my mouth speak it, feel it, and coming through my ears back in that kind of that full circle of self-visualization or empowerment or whatever the fancy words are for it. So wish me luck, send a prayer. Going in, I'm getting close here to go and meet with Vice President, and if nothing else, if they're like, no, we don't want to be involved with the sponsorship or whatever, the worst thing that there could be some worse things that could happen, but a good win for me, and hopefully for the Vice President I'm meeting with, is simply that I have a new friend, he has a new friend, knowing somebody that's there to support the good that each of us are trying to do, and hopefully we're trying to do, and if nothing more, that's what I hope to get out of, that's kind of the low fruit I hope to get out of this, it's a win-win for his busy time. I have no idea what it means to be a vice president of an entire nation, of a sovereign nation, and try to lead the people that he leads. And so his time, the 5, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever he allows me to spend, I hope it's good for him too, and not just good for selfish old me. That's what I want to be respectful in walking into this meeting is to let him know that I sincerely appreciate him taking time to talk with me when I know his time is so valuable and so many more important things than he could be doing versus meeting with me about a little film that we hope is going to change the world, or change a few hearts in the world, soften a few hearts in the world, help us go back and reunite with our grandparents and the elders, and all the other things we're trying to do with this movie. So that's the journey so far today. It's almost 2 p.m. and still have some hours left to push the project some more when I get home after this meeting, and then try to do a better job of spending that time with my children and family, and letting them know that I love them and that they're number one in my life. So thanks for following the journey 2020. All right, so I just got out of the meeting, spent was about 50 minutes, 45 minutes in with the vice president, and went really well, really well. Nothing was agreed upon, but I feel like I have a friend, an honest friend that got to know him better and him to know me, and it was a good meeting. I'm glad he was able to take the time, and it was a good time spent in my schedule as well. So whether anything else comes out of this or not, like yes, I hope so, and all of that, but that's not the point at all. Having another friend in the community I work in, so hopefully we'll stay in touch. I'm going to have to write up a letter and then send an email with a sponsorship packet that I've spent so many hours over the last few days on putting together, and send that to him, and then he will present that before tribal council, and we'll see what happens from there. I'm hopeful. Hopefully something comes out of it, and there's some different options that we're giving as sponsors to come in, and really trying to again create that win-win situation with him. What's good for the community. He already mentioned possibly doing some stuff with the youth, and so I have no problem if they pick up on one of those opportunities, and we throw in that I come out here for a day or for a few days to spend with the youth and help do what I can to motivate them or give them some more knowledge of the filmmaking process, or whatever I can do to help. I'm always more than happy to do that. I even come out and do something like that. We're so close without it even being part of the sponsor stuff. So I feel like it's been a win-win for us so far having this meeting. Now just on to head home, get that letter written, send it off to him, and then continue to reach out to some of the other communities I'm in touch with and hope to be in touch with, so we can ideally have the funds in place by the end of February, so we can go into pre-production, then start shooting that April-May timeframe. So far we're still good, still on track. Hope you continue to follow the journey 2020.